Skip, I just don't see it. I read the article, and when I saw the headline, I'm like, huh? I find it just so hard for me to believe that the Lakers would just send him home a la John Wall. Skip, I believe the Lakers can trade Russ. His agent said, basically, you're going to have to throw in that extra pick, but the teams are going to, the only way Russ get traded for, Skip, is this. He and his agent was going to have to agree to you getting bought out. We're trading for you to buy you out. It's kind of like you buying a car, but all you want is the frame. You don't really want the tires, anything. You just want the frame. They just want the draft picks from the Lakers. They don't want Russ. That's why I believe they will buy him out. And so Russ doesn't want to be bought out. I think the thing is Russ is going to have to prove himself all over again. It's almost like he's starting from scratch because what transpired last year, I mean, everybody like, oh, the man averaged 18, 8, and 8. 18, 8, and 8 is hard to do. Okay, why nobody else wants that 18, 8, and 8? Y'all keep telling me it's hard to do, and I'm not saying that it isn't. Getting 18 points in an NBA game, 8 rebounds, 8 assists isn't hard. But shouldn't one of the other 29 teams want 18, 8, and 8? Shouldn't one of 15 teams want 18, 8, and 8? That should tell you something. I just don't believe it, Skip. I'll believe it when I see it. I believe Russ starts the season on the roster. Do I believe they're working overtime, trying to find a place to ship Russ to? I absolutely believe that. I believe that one of the reasons why LeBron signed that extension is that Jeannie and Rob assured him, we will do everything we possibly can to make this a contending team. Not just this year, but next year as well. We're not concerned with 27 and 29 and 25 because, Skip, 27, how is LeBron going to be in 27? He's 30, 43? I'm not worried about no 43-year-old wing player, possible wing player. I'm not worried about no 45-year-old possible wing player in 2029. No. I'm talking about 2022, 38-year-old, 37 going on 38-year-old LeBron James. So for me, Skip, it's just hard for me to see a scenario where they tell him, because I get it, John Wall was not as accomplished as Russ. Russ is a former MVP. He's a former All-Star Game MVP. He's a many-time All-NBA player, Skip. He's a multiple time All-Star. It's just hard for me to see it. I just can't see it right now. Maybe my glasses are a little foggy or something. I need a different tint, but I just don't see that right now, Skip.
Okay, Shannon, I'm trying to read the Laker tea leaves here.
Yes.
I'm trying to figure out, because it surprised me. It didn't shock me, but it did surprise me.
Yes.
That all of a sudden LeBron chimes in yesterday and says, can't wait to see him go off next year. As in, it's a very positive, looking forward to Russ getting even with everybody, showing everybody how wrong they were. That's how it came across to me. Or
it could be, I can't wait to Russ get off this team or go off this team.
Man, you're really going deep now.
LeBron is always going to be positive with teammates. LeBron, no matter what he thinks, LeBron is going to be positive. He's going to put the yeah, I want the guy. I know what the guy can do. But at the end of the day, Skip, he's been around Russ. He saw Russ. He know Russ is not going to get it done.
Okay, so are you actually? I'm looking back at the tweet again, or what he replied to. Can't wait for him to go off this season? Are you suggesting he was saying to go off this team?
No, I just made it up. I'm just being funny. I just thought, no, LeBron is being positive. LeBron wants all the guys to succeed. I just don't believe deep down he believes he can win a title with Russ.
Okay, I got that, and I definitely agree. But then Pat Bev chimes in and co-signs on LeBron by saying, same, it's on, without any punctuation. Patrick doesn't use punctuation in his tweets, but the point is, same, it's on. Same, it's on. Meaning, yeah, here we go. And I told you yesterday, as bad as the blood is between Russ and Pat Bev, Pat Bev is nothing but a professional. Everything that he did to Russ was all about trying to win games, trying to distract, antagonize, irritate.
The mental battle.
Yes, it's all about the mental battle. And it got physical, and it was something of an unwritten rule that he broke when he did injure Russ's knee. but he did it.
Yeah.
And he's doing everything in his power, even in the gray area between the rules, to win basketball games, because that's how he rolls. That's how he made his way into the league after all the years he had to spend in Russia and Greece and China and every place that he played in the G League. So it didn't surprise me, because I predicted yesterday he'll just forgive and forget. Oh, you're my teammate now? Let's go. Because, as you always say, he's the guy, if he's your teammate, you love him. If he's not, you hate him. Well, he's the same way. The converse of that is, if he's your teammate, he's going to love you. If you're against him, he's going to hate you. So the point is, he'll forgive and forget. Russ will not. Pat Bev effectively took a year or two off the end of Russ's career because the same knee still plagues him. They had to take a whole lot of the cushion out of his knee, a whole lot of the cartilage out of his knee. It was a bad wound to the medial meniscus cartilage. So he's not going to let that go, because Russ isn't one to let anything go, as we know. So I don't think that's ever going to go away. So I told you yesterday, when I first heard, wait a second, they went out and got Patrick Beverly. Well, that indicated to me that maybe something was brewing. The skids had been greased to get rid of Russ. Like maybe they got a deal on the front burner for Russ to go, because I don't think it'll work between the two of them, let alone the fact that now Patrick is going to take some, if not a whole lot, of Russ's minutes. Because, Shannon, in the end, as God is my witness, what I believe here is Patrick Beverly right now is better than Russell Westbrook. He's more valuable in so many ways. He's a better better three-point shooter. I ain't going there. Yeah, he's a better playmaker. He's a pretty good playmaker. He doesn't make spectacular plays, but he makes all the right plays.
How about this? He might not be a better player, but he might be a better fit for the Lakers. I mean, two things can be true. I still believe Russ is a better overall basketball player.
I don't know.
But Patrick Beverly might be a better overall fit for the Lakers, considering a role. Skip, as a role player, what is my role? And how do I maximize my ability in said role? Russ' roles changed, but he didn't change. He's the third option on a team, still thinking he's the first or second option on a team. And that's why it didn't really work for the Lakers. I always thought this was a bad fit. I never thought LeBron and Russ was a great fit. I never thought that. I thought if it could work, it would be because LeBron could make it work, but I didn't think it was a great fit. And it's not a great fit. Nobody, with the exception of Rob Pelinka, thought it was a great fit.
Okay.
Because that was the one time I was like, Bron, I love you. Yeah.
Okay, I got you. And thank you for doing that. That was very objective on your part. But help me out here. Where would Russ be a great fit? He doesn't fit with anybody. No, seriously.
Well, he has to go somewhere, Skip, that he can be Russ. He can be what he was in OKC. Or he can be, if he can be that, if he's going to have to go to a team, Skip, that, look, they're not contending, but he can just like dominate the ball. He's going to be, his usage rate is going to be through the roof. And he can thrive in a role like that, Skip. Okay. But he can't play. Skip, he's one-dimensional. He can't play out the ball. He can't catch and shoot. He just stand there when he doesn't have the ball. He's not diving. He's not cutting. He's just standing there.
All right, so he's a solo act of a stat machine who doesn't impact the scoreboard positively. He just doesn't. He's not going to help win games. It's like I told you yesterday, what used to be called the Showtime Lakers. They're now the side Showtime Lakers, because he's a sideshow. And Russ versus Pat Bev is going to be the ultimate WWE sideshow if, in fact, they're going to go forward with it, which is hard for me to believe that they are, because it will make bad last year worse this year. That's what's going to happen, because if you just had Patrick Beverly, if he became your starting point guard, LeBron's the point guard, if you just put Pat Bev in, it's going to improve your defense dramatically. It's going to improve your three-point shooting dramatically, and it's going to reduce your turnovers dramatically. Check, check, check. He's just better. He's more valuable. He would be, if you want to do fit, I'm just saying he's a better all-around basketball player at this stage and age than Russ is, as his athleticism is declining, obviously. So, to me...
How about...
Yeah. like Russ just gums up the works. Russ is just in the way right now.
What Russ does well and what Patrick Beverly does well, what Patrick Beverly does well fits better with the Lakers than what Russ does well. Can we agree with that? Would you agree with that?
Yeah, but it fits with any basketball team. You're just talking about basketball 101.
Yes. And that's okay. Everything isn't a fit. Everybody isn't going to be a great fit everywhere. I mean, obviously, you know, you got some guys like a LeBron or KD or some of these guys, Steph Curry, Yoke, Embiid, Giannis, Skip, they can fit because they're transcendent players. But when you have a very specific skill set, a guy that needs the ball, and he's so offensive ball dominant, and he gives you nothing on the other end of the court, and he's high turnovers, well, your value is not what it would be if you didn't turn the ball over so much and didn't dominate the ball so much.
Okay, so Shannon, think about this. The truth is, Russell Westbrook, the facts are, he was the single worst three-point shooter in all of basketball. And I think you and I both concluded it's the worst hands of any point guard we've ever seen. So a point guard with bad hands who can't shoot three-point shots and was the fourth worst free throw shooter in all of basketball last year and led the league in turnovers per game all the way until the last three when he sat out. Okay, what's to like about that? Because his strength was his attacking athleticism. That was his strength mostly in Oklahoma City to a certain extent.
Yeah, it's waning. It's waning.
It's waning. Okay, so where's the there is no value. That's why he's virtually untradeable unless somebody, if he would agree to a 75 cents on the dollar buyout, maybe somebody would say, okay, maybe we'll think about that. He is so proud, so delusionally proud, that he thinks he's still Russell Westbrook, not Russell Westbrick. So he wants to be bought out in full. And that's why, to me, I brought this up. I first guessed this. I believe I was the first to broach the subject. I just said, I'm afraid you're stuck with this whole idea. Jeannie's going to have to swallow her pride and swallow $47 million and send him home. Yeah. Do John Wall him. Just wall him off. Just say, hey, thanks, but no thanks. We pay you, but we don't need you, because he only is the fly in their ointment next year. Without him, they're maybe much better, especially now that they've added Pat Bev. So I'm with the Athletics' conclusion of maybe they just send him home. I think that's where it's heading.
Well, Skip, they just got out of a huge debt, Luol Deng. You remember they signed Luol Deng to that horrible contract?
Yeah.
And they just finally, I think this year, he's finally off the books. Okay. And you want to get back in debt?
Okay, but this is a one-shot deal. There's no debt service here. You just pay it. You got to pay him and send him home.
Bad.
Pretty big domino.
I just don't see it.
Everybody's watching to see how.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.